Hello, everybody. Welcome to Sunday Chat with Nick. Um, Give me a second. Let me get things going correctly so that I can see the comments. I'm getting used to this stuff, but it still requires me to set things up correctly. Okay, I think I got everything running, and I think I turn off the auto focus so that it's no longer adjusting to my moving. So it is what it is. Hopefully, this will improve. I had internet issues all week. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday was brutal. I could not. Something was wrong with my Comcast internet that I can barely watch 5, 6 seconds of a YouTube video before it starts spinning and not able to go further. And I keep getting the message that my bandwidth was too low. I can only hear the audio portion of the video. So I had to call Comcast and bite the bullets. Had my modem replaced, and at the same time, might as well upgrade my broadband. So this is supposed to be fast. I think this is a faster broadband. I think going forward, you may see an improvement in the bandwidth of what I am doing. So there will be less lagging. Okay. Um, so Sunday, welcome everybody. Been a busy week for me. I have been unusually busier this past few weeks. Business. Okay. So can't complain. Making more money to spend on comic books. But yes, I have been fairly busy. Just go back to last November. So it had usually my business is fairly busy in October, November, December, and then January it starts to slow down, and then I see a significant slowdown in February for the rest of the next 6 months. But this year so far, no slowdown. January was still busy, February still busy. So we'll see if the slowdown will happen in March. But so it's been a rough, busier than normal for me. Um, the big topic this week is, of course, the casting of Iron Fist, Danny Rand, and the controversy that you see within the Asian community. And normally I'm fairly outspoken about this issue, but I think this is one of the few times that I disagree with the Asian community. I think, I have been fairly disappointed for the most part with how the Asian community um, failed to voice the collective opinions at the right time instead of pick and choose the wrong time. It's just my opinion. I'm sure some Asian may not like to hear my thoughts on this, but for example, when Doctor Strange casting came out and the Ancient One was cast with the actress, I was very vocal. Well, I was vocal in complaining that I didn't like the casting. I understand the need to include more women in the Doctor Strange movie. Otherwise, it would be a sausage fest, okay? I understand that the Doctor Strange universe, for the most part, outside of Clea, is mostly men. All the villains, for the most part, all the supporting cast are just men, regardless of race and color. It's men, okay? So I understand Marvel need to adjust the cast to include diversity. We have a black actor to play Mordo. Very little complaint for most people, from what I can tell. And then the Ancient One. Why can't it be an Asian woman. If you want to include more diversification, why must there be a white woman cast in that role? And that's where I felt something is wrong with I felt the Asian community overall failed to speak up at that point. There was almost zero. I think I might have been the only one, at least in my circle of friends, that say something about the disagreement with me with Marvel and Disney casting, regardless of how great the actress is. Okay, regardless of how great the actress is, I can name a lot of Asian actresses, especially with actresses. Once you hit your 50s, seem like roles are diminished significantly. But look at Michelle Yeoh. I think that's how you pronounce her last name. If I pronounce it incorrectly, my apology to the great Michelle Yeoh. But for those that don't know who she is, she's a lead actress in Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. She's also starred in the recent Netflix sequel, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon 2. She's in her 50s. She looked great, and she can act. Okay, she can act, and she speaks English well. If Disney and Marvel or other people, have any concern of an Asian actor that cannot speak clear English, she can. Now, whether she turned down the role, I don't know. Justin Ames, I was hoping for Lou Diamond Phillips to play Iron Fist. He might be too old. Sadly, I think he has the acting charm. I think he has the skills. I just think that he might be too old to play Iron Fist. Just my opinion. But back to Michelle Yeoh, and here's an issue I have with the Asian community. I don't know. Maybe this is because of the way Hollywood has been for decades. Okay, Asian has been for the most part shut out of Hollywood for a long, long time. So maybe even if Marvel and Disney have a casting call for Asian actors, not enough show up. So it could be. So I'm not in the business. I'm not in the industry to understand how things are done. If they put out a casting call for roles and not enough Asians show up for audition, that's part of the problem. But that stems from decades of neglect. Okay, so my opinion is I wish the Asian community, the acting community, would put more effort in pushing the young actor and actress into the position of success by encourage them to audition. That at the end of the day, it's put your face out there. Okay, it's not about is it because Hollywood don't give you the role? Maybe. Is it because you don't audition? Maybe. So I don't know. I can't say enough about how I feel that that whole Iron Fist controversy is overblown, and that because what makes Iron Fist the character interesting is that because in comic books he was not Asian. He was basically an outsider to an art. He was an outside looking in, looking for acceptance. So yeah, yes, this past few days where I read the rant from the Asian community, my first inkling, my first feeling is that where were you when the Ancient One was cast with a white actress? You should have spoken out there because that was a better opportunity to demand some kind of fair treatment because the Ancient One was Asian in the comic books. So at the least complain about that one instead of complaining about Danny Rand. It's frustrating. It's frustrating for me being Asian to have to listen to a lot of Asian talk, and a lot of time it's misplaced complaint. Yes, I said misplaced complaint. I'm gonna get a lot of hate from the bandwagon uh, people that sided with many of the Asian people in the Asian community. Okay, there's a lot of people in the Asian community that are up in arms and want to boycott Disney or blah blah blah. And for me, it's just like, where were you when the Ancient One was cast? Where were you? Okay, so enough of that. Okay, I had my 2 cents in my rant with the whole Danny Iron Fist thing. So I'm looking forward for the show. Uh, I can't wait to see how they do Iron Fist. I'm sure Iron Fist will show up sometime during the Luke Cage show, sometime, whether it's near the end. Um, we will see, but I can't wait. I can't wait to see how that whole thing unfolded as far as Iron Fist being introduced. Um, but from what I heard, Jessica Jones get greenlit for the second season. Okay, so things are moving forward very quickly with Netflix TV show. Speaking of Netflix, House of Cards season 4 is coming next month. So let's be some good binge watching there. Good time. You got the Daredevil, the second season. You got uh, I, I still had to watch that Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon uh, 2. Um, my feeling is that not going to be good, but that's why I'm not in a hurry to watch that sequel made for Netflix movie. I'm worried that it's going to be crappy. Okay, so I will do a review after I have a chance to sit down and watch that, but I'm not excited about that whatsoever. And then Daredevil 2, House of Cards season 4, and then of course in a big movie, Superman versus Batman BVS. Okay, that's a easy abbreviation, as I don't have to say the whole thing. BVS. I'm excited for BVS. I'm also excited. Speaking of movie, I heard they are rebooting Predator. Oh, yes, give me a good reboot of Predator. I have seen all the Predator movies, even the crappy one, and I enjoyed them. Okay, this guilty pleasure to see even the last crappy Predator movie when they're in some faraway planet. Woo, that was a doozy of a mess. But I still watch it because I love Predator, and I can't wait to see what they do with them. I hope the reboot is good. I'm hoping. I even like um, Predator versus Aliens. Yes, that's how big of a fanboy I am to that franchise. I think a lot of people hate it. I think Predator versus Alien versus Predator, I thought the first one was good. Good enough. Okay? Good enough. The second one was really bad. Okay. Like bad. It's like it should be made for sci-fi channel kind of bad, because it's just the whole premise and story was bad. But the first one, where it was in the Iceland or Antarctica or whatever it was, at least the storyline for that first one made more sense than the sequel, which was bad. Shamefully, I still watch it. I think I bought the DVD on sale. I saw the DVD on sale for like $4 or something like that. I was just like, why not? And it was bad. I watched it once on DVD. I'm just like, ooh, I'm not sure it's worth $4. As far as buying stuff, I did get some stuff in, which I shot that video with the Fantastic Four 55, and I should have waited a day later because a bunch of other stuff that I bought also show up. But so I will do a small haul videos, I think, sometime next week. This is, I think it's like 4 or 5 books, nothing big. But one other thing I did bought was a bunch of My Lights, even magazine side, as you can see here. Finally, I can put some of my nicer magazine in My Light or Mylar. For the most part, I try to use My Light 2. I think that's the thickness that I like. But you know, I had so many magazines that as I was going through my grading and scanning process, I'm like, why don't I have these in My Lights or Mylar? They are beautiful. A lot of my magazines are really in good shape. Maybe I'll do a collection video for magazine only. It's a lot. I have magazines take up a lot of space because they're so thick and big. Like a magazine is like 2 or 3 comic books. So even a box of say 100 magazine, it's almost like the full long box of comic books, you know. And I have probably about 100 magazines out there in the closet. Many are just low grade junky readers, but about half are really nice. So I bought enough bags, I think, to put some of the nicer one in there. I probably will buy more because the source I bought them was fairly cheap. I was pretty happy to pay. I think I paid. I don't have it, but it was like $9 ship. So shipping is included. Like it's under $9, like $8 and something for 25 bags from the magazine size. So I think I will order at least another 25 because, like I said, I have probably 50 or so magazines that are really nice that should be protected for the long term. And even then, magazines aren't worth a lot of money. You know, it's outside of a few magazine, 99% of black and white magazines are $10 for a decent copy. By decent, I mean, you know, very fine plus or higher. Near mint, who knows? There's always some high grade collector that might pay 30, 40, or $50 for it. Speaking of which, I did land myself a decent copy of Deadly Hand of Kung Fu 19. That was one of the few missing one that I was not willing to pay $80 or $100 for the first appearances of what that character, White Tiger. Okay, so I did not. But I landed a cheap. By cheap, I mean I think I pay. I gotta look it up, but it's definitely under $60. With shipping, it might be 50 or something. But yeah, it's real beautiful copy. I think near mint-ish, near mint minus-ish. But at least I got a copy to see what. And to be honest, issue 20 is much better. I have issue 20, and now that I got myself issue 19, it's a cameo. He appeared on like the last page. So in many ways, I'm just like, what's the big hoopla about issue 19? It has a cool cover, the beautiful orange cover with the Iron Fist punching. But as far as the character, it's almost like, you know, Hulk 180 and Hulk 181. You know, he appeared on the last page. If you like White Tiger, get issue 20. It's a lot more meaningful. And to me, not that I know anything about White Tiger and the potential of White Tiger in the Iron Fist TV show, but if there's a book that should be worth more, would be issue 20 instead of 19, because like I said, White Tiger appeared on the last page of issue 19 compared to issue 20 where he was full on as far as the storyline. So I disagree with the market. as far as, you know, valuing issue 19 so high because it's White Tiger. And I don't think, personally, I do not think White Tiger will appear in the show. For the sake of Marvel and Netflix diversification, I think if a White Tiger character is going to be introduced, it's going to be his niece, the female White Tiger. Okay, because, you know, I think Netflix would likely choose that character over the White Tiger. And so for those that want to speculate on potential hard book alert, Mike Smith, you're here. Happy Sunday. You know, I think look it up. Look up White Tiger, the female version, and I think that has a. And even then, in comic books, I think that character is no longer around. So I don't know. Like I said, I don't understand why Deadly Hands of Kung Fu 19 is so highly sought after because of White Tiger. I have no aware of TV show related stuff, but I think if there is any chance of White Tiger on the TV screen, it's going to be the female version. Okay. And so for those that care to, I have it. I have the comic book that first introduced the niece of White Tiger that eventually become White Tiger. She was in the FBI. I had to bring back the book, bring out those books to read again. They are actually pretty good. I bought them back in 2003, I think. Mike, so how you doing? What's up? Any new stuff that you bought? Anything new? I bought. Let's see. I got a couple of doozy that I need to show in my haul. I finally found something that real quick. I thought that book was nearby. It's over here. Avengers Academy issue 20, I believe, for Ava Ayala. That could be the character I'm talking about. You know, it's been so long. The character that I'm thinking about is an FBI agent. It's in, like I said, I wish I had it. I meant to pull it out to read before I make the video, but I did not have time. I just remember, you know, it's a white version of the White Tiger, and I think that's a better chance. But for those that watch a lot of my videos, Iron Man 150 was my first book, one of my most prized comic books, because it's the very first book I bought off the rack that I kept. It's on my desk somewhere. And for years, I thought about upgrading it. Okay, it's not something that I'm not going to go out there and spend $100 on a 9/8 slabs. Caesar, are you here? Yes, I'm glad you enjoy my rant, Caesar. Okay, I hope you agree with what I said, because, you know, to me, it's just to see all that stuff on Twitter and social media about, oh, Danny Rand is white. Why must he be white? Where were you? You know, it's nonsense. It's in many outcry in the Asian community. A whole lot of nonsense. But back to issue 150, Iron Man 150. So for years, you know, my copy is about mid-grade because I beat the heck out of it, and for years, too little, too late. Correct. I bought the 6-book Green Arrow Year 1, some 80 Teenage Mutant Ninja comics, some showcase, trade paperback, custom cable Funko Pop figures. You've been busy, my friend. So back to Iron Man 150. I wanted to buy a nice copy, like a nice upgrade, just to have something nice. But I didn't want to pay the money. And it seemed like every time I see a cheap copy, by cheap, I mean like $10 or less, it's gone like that. Okay. That I must have seen that book for sales on the CGC forum half a dozen times, if not more, in the past 6-7 years at least. Like I said, I don't camp out there every day to buy a book for cheap. So, but every time I check in and I saw a copy, it's sold like that. So I missed out at least half a dozen, if not a dozen times. But patient came. I finally got a copy. So maybe I would, in the next haul videos, I will include and show that nice Iron Man 150 Near Mint Plus that I got for shipping included $8. Sweet. So I'm excited. I wanted a nice copy of that book for a long for years, if not decade, and I finally got a copy for $8, shipping included. Yes, Caesar, it's small. You know me. I don't buy a whole lot, but it will be, let's see, 1, 2. It'd be, I think, half a dozen book. Okay, half a dozen. Nothing major. The biggest major was a Fantastic Four 55 that I already shown, so that's out of the way. But there's a half a dozen book and some nice stuff. Now, Caesar, are you gonna watch well, I'm assuming that you're gonna watch the Daredevil season 2. Quality, not quantity. So yes, for those that are on a live chat right now, if you want to appear on a live chat in a few weeks when Daredevil 2 season come out and do reviews and discussion, let me know. I am all for it. Caesar, you're welcome to join me to do a review if you want to. We can set it up to do per episode review every 2 or 3. I will do my best to not binge through the entire thing in a weekend. I'm gonna try to pace myself up to enjoy the show over a week. Oh, Caesar, you're gonna do it in a whole weekend. Okay, well, if you're gonna do that and if you want to still join me a week later to do the review, then let me know. We will have a non-spoiler review and a spoiler-filled review for the entire scene if you wish. You can't control yourself. I can and can't. Some show I cannot, and some show I can't. Comic Crack, Terrence, welcome. Hello. Yes, we're talking about Daredevil season 2. Terrence, you're welcome to join the future live chat review and discussion of the show should you want to join. For me, binging, I tend to binge a lot on shows that have multiple seasons. Like if I was, for example, I did not watch The Wire until last year. The show The Wire, and I know there was 5 seasons or something like that. And so why not? I can go through 1 season per weekend. I blow through that real quick and enjoy the show. But for show that have less episode, I try to savor it a little bit more. Just saw the second trailer. So Terrence, you saw the second trailer. You saw the. Did anybody catch the clip of Elektra in action? They released that clip Friday. It's very short. It's like 14 seconds where she kicked ass and beat down 2 or 3 guys. Yes, Terrence, I will do my best to schedule the chat. It most likely will be on the weekend, just like this. I mean, to me, it's easy for me to schedule chat on Sunday, because to me that's my easiest time of the week, where I have the least distractions and there's no plan. Saturdays, lots of planning, a lot of parties, a lot of things to do with my son, things that I can't plan for. But Sunday is a lazy Sunday. Soprano, The Office, Game of Thrones, Mike Smith. Yes, I have not watched Game of Thrones beyond season 1. Yes, Terrence, look it up. It's on Netflix. It's on YouTube. You can see that it's on on the Marvel channel. If you haven't seen it, yes, I like to have ideally I like to have Sunday chat every Sunday. Between 11 and 12. That worked best for me, or even earlier. 10 to 12 if people was around. But seems like most people have a hard time waking up before 10 o'clock. I like to have a chat, 1.5 hour chat before lunchtime. In fact, in about 7 minutes at 11:30, I need to run out of the room real quick for 30 seconds. I had to turn on the stove. My wife put something on the stove that she want me to turn on in 7 minutes. She's not home, so that we can eat lunch at 12. So in 7 minutes, I will have to excuse myself for 30 seconds to go to the kitchen. Mike Smith said he likes Sunday chat because it make my work day go faster. Yeah, same here. I think if I had more ideas to carry the chat, I would have it every Sunday. But for a lot of people can't do it on Sunday, and they prefer to do it on Wednesday night. That's why I do Wednesday and then just do the Sunday chat once a month. Yes, Terrence, I'm up around on the weekend. I'm up by 8 o'clock every Saturday or Sunday. On the weekday, I'm up by 7. To get things going for Anthony, my son. He had to get up. People with kids can forget about sleeping in. I'm sure Terrence would agree. Kids don't sleep. At some stage, I think once they hit the puberty, teenage years, and their body grow and they need to sleep more, then you see the teenage sleeping in late on Saturday and Sunday kind of thing. But right now, 8 o'clock is pushing it for Anthony, even if he stay up to midnight. Okay, he was up to like 11 o'clock last night, 11:30, and he was up at 8 o'clock this morning, breakfast. Half man, half amazing. I was about to sit down with a cup of Joe and read some comics. When I saw the chat was on, I had to see what's going on. You have to see this, Caesar. You have to tune in. I appreciate you tuning in. I don't think I have a lot of interesting things to say, but I'm glad you're tuning in. Oh, your kids are still sleeping, Caesar. You're a lucky man. You're a lucky man. My son, Anthony, is not a sleeper. When he was 3, 4, 5, 6 years old, my God, he's up at 5 a.m. Brutal. My wife and I were just like, 5 a.m., go to sleep. He'll be up, get into our beds. Yeah, we are not blessed with a sleepy child. I don't, so my wife and I have not need to use an alarm clock since Anthony was born, because he's up all the time. That kid never sleeps. He's a vampire. He, in many ways, it's nice because with school, now that he's in third grade, it's nice because, unlike other kids, I don't have to nag him to get up. He's up. Trust me, he's up. He wakes up about the same time I get up at 7 o'clock. Yes, so my wife and I have forego a lot of sleeping in since Anthony's born because he does not sleep. Nick, if you could see one X-Men villain appear in the Marvel universe, who could it be? X-Men universe. Okay, so we are talking hypothetically that Marvel are willing to take in, are able to use. I would pick Magneto. That would be my pick because I think I love Doctor Doom, but something about Doctor Doom is to me he just won't fit as a villain from. He would be awesome for an Iron Man movie, in my opinion. Armor versus armor, and a little magic versus science. But on the grand scheme of things, for something big, I would love to see Magneto on the grand scheme of things, have some kind of ties in with Scarlet Witch. But that's my wish. Juggernaut is cool, but he's just not powerful enough to be in like a big massive movie. If Juggernaut was used, I don't think he can stand alone as the villain for a Marvel movie, in my opinion. Oh, sorry. If your question is, what villain I want to see in the Fox universe, villain that have not been used, like Apocalypse. They use Apocalypse. They use. I really like to see the X-Men go into space. To me, somehow, well, ideally, Dark Phoenix is one, but somehow involve the Shire Empire and the galaxy. That might be such a too big of a leap for Fox as far as the X-Men universe is concerned. But I really like to see them spread their wings so that we can see Corsair, the Starjammers, and to me that would have been awesome to do that before they do a Dark Phoenix saga. But that's just my wish, because to me Dark Phoenix is so big, so powerful, that you have to go intergalactic. I would like to see Onslaught myself, epic 90s villain. That wouldn't be bad. Yeah, I'm not a fan of Omega Red, so I don't care to see Omega Red in that whatsoever. Like I said, there's a lot of villain that could be used, but something must be big. Arcade would be fun. Okay, arcade would be fun, but I'm not sure if that's doable. Certainly, I would, like I said, Fox kind of screwed up a lot with Xavier's son, because the Proteus storyline would have been pretty awesome, but we can't have that as well. Yes, Starjammers and the Fox version of Guardian of the Galaxy, I would dig that. I think it would be awesome because Starjammer is awesome. That should be explored. Okay, I think, but I think Fox need to spread their wings above, beyond Earthbound. Marvel did it successfully. I think Fox certainly could do that, and if Fox did mess up the Fantastic Four so badly. There are so much cosmic intergalactic stuff that you could do with the Fantastic Four. So much that I'm so bummed that they completely screw up the Fantastic Four, because my God, I would like to see a Silver Surfer standalone movie to have the original Silver Surfer, how Galactus. To me, it would have been awesome to do that. Forget the Fantastic Four. That failed. Okay, if I was Fox and I was to trying to do something with the Fantastic Four franchise, go on a standalone Silver Surfer movie where you do his origin and introduce Galactus. That alone is epic right there for a movie. You don't need the Fantastic Four. But that's my suggestion to Fox. To me, Terrence, I'm glad you agreed. I have said this before, even before the last flop of the Fantastic Four. To me, what Fox did with the Cloud and the Silver Surfer in the sequel to the Fantastic Four was stupid, beyond stupid. Oh, I'll be right back. I just look at the clock. It's 11:33. I need to turn on the oven. I'll be right back in 30 seconds. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, folks. Cooking take a little bit longer than I thought, because there are just so much stuff in the oven that I had to take out before I can put the food in and turn on the oven. But I'm back. What's cooking, Mike? My wife is making some kind of puff pastry. Okay, she's making some kind of puff pastry with ham and cheese. So I had to bake it so it's gonna be nice and yummy and buttery. Puff pastry with ham and cheese inside. A calzone. A calzone with ham and cheese. But it's lunch. That's gonna be lunch. So I can't wait to eat in half an hour. I will have to run in half an hour. Ron Chang said, "How do I detect a tear seal?" It's about, with restoration checking, Ron. It's about seeing and understanding. Take a piece of paper, okay? If you take a piece of paper, okay, and it's ripped like this, okay? If you put glue along the tear, I can't even see it. If you put glue along the tear, you will see the glue. Okay, it will popped out. Even do it yourself. Rip a piece of paper, take some glue, whatever glue you have around the house, and seal the tear. You will see how easy it is to spot that. Okay, so with restoration checking, it's about understanding how things is and how things supposed to look. So it's not hard. Trust me, a tear seals are one of the easiest thing to spot compared to color touch, because you can look, put a book under the in front of you, and right away you see the glue over the seal. So it's not hard to spot. Mike Smith asks, better villain, Sony or Fox? I think Sony. Ooh, just because, you know, Spider-Man have awesome villain that they can mess it up. But I think Fox, Sony have great villain. I think Fox have bigger scope of villain they can use. Okay, because the X-Men universe are such huge with villain. You know, I think you know, it would be easy for Fox to come up with villain for the X-Men universe, especially for the X-Force universe that they want to build. And it's a guarantee, right? It's a guarantee that Fox gonna go forward with Cable, X-Force, you name it. It's crazy. It's the villain from the X-Men universe is very big and massive and vast. They not, some of them are just cool enough compared to like the Spider-Man villains, which is super cool. Tear seals could be tough looking at scan. Correct. Tear seals is one of those flaws that you have to have the book in hand to look at, because it will jump out once you hold the book, the grade in your hand. But when you look at the scan alone, especially spine split, how can you tell, right? There's no way. So I agree, it's not an easy thing to spot from scan, but as far as having the book in hand, it is so easy. It's easiest, to me, is the easiest restoration to check. Okay. Yes, Caesar said that, look at the book from an angle, it will show you everything. You know, absolutely. You know, even some color touch, you know, things like, you know, color touches, trimming, that's very difficult to spot at any angle. Okay, it's about requiring to look. Like for me, I use, a lot of people ask me like what I use for restoration checking as far as color touch, and this is what I use. Jewelry loupe. I probably have 5 different magnifier around my table, from bigger one, but this is the smallest one I have. You can buy this on eBay for cheap. It's kind of crappy. You know, it has a light, it has an LED light, but it allowed me to look. So for me, when I do restoration check with color touch, this is what I use, a magnifier. I need to go slowly, inch by inch, on the spine, on the corner of the book, in order to spot color touches. Okay, so to me, this is a better tool. I wish I can find a good black light to use. You know, that's what the pros use, is a good black light. But even then, you know, I find that I have better success using a magnifier like this to spot color touches. Breakfast isn't going to cook itself and the kids will be up soon. Caesar, thanks for stopping by, and I look forward to our chat in the future, especially the Daredevil review. So thank you for stopping by. See you next time. Nick, King Cobra, hello. what do you think of DC famous first edition Detective 27 Action 1 reprint remove cover is the same exact size? No, if you remove the cover for those reprint book, they are bigger than the actual book. So I think over the years, a lot of scammers have removed the cover for these reprints and they beat it up, right? They toss it around and then they say, and they go on eBay and they say, oh, look, I found this Detective 27 in my dad's attic. I don't know what it's worth. And, you know, people buy it and then they get a big nasty surprise later. So it is bigger. It is quite bigger than the actual book itself. And, you know, I have a whole bunch sitting right over here. Let me grab them. Okay, I'm back. This is what King Cobra is talking about. Okay, it is the actual action comic book is a typical golden age book, right? So let me show you. Okay, there you go. It's about 2-inch, if not more, larger on this dimension on here, and then about 3-inch or more. Okay, so it is quite different. I think, you know, I actually, I think 2 or 3 years ago, when I first made a YouTube video, I made a video where I point out a scammer on eBay was listing a book that was a reprint. And for those that are well trained in looking at the books, you know, sure, you know, this is a decent reprint. Even, see, what throw a lot of people off is the interior, okay? Even the interior is reprinted, so it's easy to look at this and say, oh, it's original, because many reprints would leave things out like different interior cover for people to spot it better, but these reprint also reprint the interior, all the ads as well, so it's easy for scammers. See, even the back cover has the ads, so it's very easy for a scammer to take photo far away so that you can't judge the size. Okay, so if you see a photo and without reference, okay, if you see a picture of me holding this, okay, if you see a picture of me holding this book like this, you can see that it is not the original copy because the size is too big. But if you don't have a size reference and beat the hell out of the cover of this book and then take a picture from far away, it looked like the real thing. So don't be fooled. It is. This is a nice copy. Look at that. You know me, high grade. I should change my I thought about changing my YouTube name to High Grade Junkie. But then again, I didn't want to copy Don, the comic book junkie. That's a cool name, but I once thought about changing my screen name to High Grade Junkie. I'm sure a lot of haters that don't like high grade will dislike my channel. Um, let's see. Ron Chang, which will get most profit selling at a convention or eBay? I say eBay. Does it fit the new Mylar? No, unfortunately. Here is my magazine, Mylar. It is too small. As you can see, it's about 1.5 inches too small in both dimensions. So no, it will not fit. I do have poly bags for these. I took it out to bring it out for the video to show, because then it's easier to see. Mike Smith asked, you planning on going to any con this year? Not right now. I thought about going to the Orlando con spring break. Around spring break down here, each year there's a big convention in Orlando. But the last 2 years, I thought about going, and then I heard the parking was horrendous. And for those that know Orlando, it's traffic crazy. Okay, and we were there. We were there in Orlando last year for spring break, and at the last minute, I decided to enjoy my weekend in Orlando doing something else, because I just didn't want to deal with the traffic and the crowd. So I'm not sure. So I heard Tampa convention is decent, so I might do a Tampa convention this year. I think the next one is July. I had to check, but that would be my only convention. No San Diego, no SDCC for me. Yes, Comic Crack Terrence say gotta be eBay. Yes, when you go to a convention, right, you have to pay, depend on what size convention, you might have to pay hundreds to get booth. Okay, hundreds. And unless you know what you're doing, unless you know how to grade, unless you know how to price, you are going, your booth might be dead. Okay, I'm not saying that you don't know what you're doing, but unless you know what you're doing, unless you know how to price your book to sell, you might not make enough money to repay, to recoup the cost of buying that booth for that convention. Now, eBay, more hassle, less cost, because a lot of time, if you're lucky enough, time yourself right, you can list 50 things for free per month. The eBay have all kind of deals to entice people to list all the time, and it's not expensive. The hassle is scanning the books. You had to go through and scan a lot of your books or take pictures. So it's the pros and cons of either one. Personally, it's also depend on the books. You mentioned a collection. The question is, what kind of collection? Are you talking about Silver Age books that you can sell for $5, $10, $15? Or you're talking about modern stuff that should be in dollar bins? So the advice I give is not, black and white, that you should go on eBay or you should sell at cons. It's about what books do you have. Comic Cracks, I didn't know you still went to conventions. The last time was about 4 years ago. Yeah, about 4 years ago. The last San Diego Comic-Con I went was 6 years ago. Okay, so in 2010. In 2010, I did go to the San Diego Comic-Con when Anthony was 3 years old. Big mistake. He was not having fun, which make my life and my wife's life miserable. Because, at 3 years old, it scares him. You know, seeing all that people in costume. I mean, he may love Star Wars even at 3 years old, but seeing big giant Chewbacca or Darth Vader freaks him out. He was so scared. He was not happy. What is it that you look for at a con that you can't find online? Not much. This is one reason why I don't go to con that much anymore. I go to cons, to be honest, to meet friends. When I go to cons, I you know, hopefully I plan well enough where at least 3 or 4 or 5 people that I consider friends will also go, so that we can meet up, have lunch. Can you hold for a second? Yeah. Sorry, folks, I had to run out. Anthony was helping me with my cooking, and he noticed that the oven was beeping, so I had to run out there real quick and shut it off. So I did not burn lunch. So in 7 minutes, when my wife get home, I have to go because it's lunchtime. Back to Terrence's question. Yes, so for me, it's about go to the convention and meet with friends, and there's very little things that I see at conventions that I don't see other places. That's why I don't buy a lot. In fact, to answer your question, Terrence, I dig into bargain bins to buy books for my Marvel value stamps. Because even if I see a book on eBay for 99 cents and the shipping is $4, it makes no sense to spend $5 on that book. But when I go to convention with my big list of Marvel value stamps, I can buy a lot of those books for cheap, and that's worth paying 50 cents for a beat up copy or something to get the stamps instead of paying $5. So I have done that. Okay. So yeah, I think the last few books I bought at convention was bargain junky low grade readers that had the Marvel value stamps. Yes. Yes, Terrence, they are expensive. You know, but keep your eyes open. Okay. There are deals. You know, if you don't care about condition, even then, it's hard to find a copy for less than $150. Okay, so be warned that, you know, they are expensive. And think about it, you know, even if you buy a copy for $100 and you get 100 stamps, it will cost you easily another $100 to get all the stamps, right? So it's not a cheap and easy process to complete. You know, so yeah, keep your eyes out. You know, you might be able to find a copy for $100 that's all beat up and ready. So I have seen it. I have seen it. I can't remember when, but in the last 5 years, you know, like I said, I have seen a few copies every year surface on eBay. So just keep your eyes out on eBay, and eventually you will see a cheap, ready copy. And it's not an easy, cheap process to complete the book. As I mentioned, you know, even I'm patient, but still, it takes me a long time to get. And speaking of that, here is a stack of books that low-grade readers, beat-up copies that I have. So let's look at this book. I have handwriting on it, all beat up, and it will be sacrificing itself to give me the stamps. So yes, I have a stack here. You know, I have more. I have accumulated a lot of these cheap books over. I have just been a little bit lazy. As you can see, the process takes some time to get the stamp. So, you know, whenever I feel like in the mood to sit down and cut up 2 or 3 stamps, and I do it. But it's a slow process. I think I got enough books here and stamps to, I think, get my books down to the last 13 stamps. I think I'm still missing 13. If I cut up everything I have here, include them in the book, I think I'm still missing a baker dozen. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it, and I will do more. I just shot another video a couple days ago that I actually shot me cut up a stamp, but then I speed up the video, so you see me in fast speed cut up all the little pieces. I timed myself on that one, and it took me about 6 minutes and 20 seconds. So I'm getting better. At first, when I first started to cut up the stamp, it took me 7.5 minutes, almost 8, because I was like so careful, slow. But now I got the hang of it, and I can do it fairly quickly. I can do it around 6 minutes for each stamp, and I think I can keep improving and maybe get it down to 5 minutes. But it's fun. Like I said, it's fun, but at the same time, I don't want to do it every day, because as you can see, I have a stack of I think a dozen books right there, and then another dozen over there. So I still have 20 plus stamps to cut. I might do 2 or 3 stamps each time, because it can take me 15 minutes or longer to do that. So whenever I'm in the mood to do it, I would do it. Okay. I just look at the clock. It's 11:59. It's almost time for me to go. For all those that join me. Oh, I did see a question here. At this point, would you buy a 5.0 and below Silver Age book, or would you buy 8.0 and up on Silver Age book? Are they getting rarer, or should we stick to finding high-grade Silver Age book? Would I buy a 5.0 or lower? Yes. I shot a video which I will load, where I answer the question like, what grades am I buying? I talk about Golden Age, I talk about Silver Age, and in that video, should I load sometime maybe next week about Silver Age, you will see me talk about buying 4.0, 5.0, 6.0. It's not about 8.0 or higher. And I will outline what flaws I can't live with. Okay, so it will answer a lot of your questions. But by far, I do not focus on buying high-grade Silver Age. I show a lot of high-grade Silver Age books in many of my videos, because they are rarer to see on YouTube. But if you watch my collection videos, you know, on the Avengers, even Spider-Man, not everything I have is 8.0 or higher. In fact, when I get to my Fantastic Four and X-Men Silver Age collection, you will see that there are many books in the 7.0 range. Well, anyhow, time for me to go. It's 12:01. I think my wife just pulled into the driveway. I have to go. Thank you, Terrence, Nerd Vision. You show up just in time, Nerd Vision. Mess up, dude. Keep showing your collection. I'm one video behind, I believe. Mike Smith, take care. Anyone? Ron Chang. Once again, thank you for stopping by, and see you next Wednesday. The next chat is next Wednesday at 7 p.m. Okay, that's it. Bye-bye.